Jurgen Klopp proved right on Liverpool's problem position, but new Man City threat emerges. Liverpool 3-0 Nottingham Forest. Liverpool eased to a comfortable win at Anfield on Sunday afternoon, but it wasn't just their goal-scoring attacking players who caught the eye. On an Anfield afternoon when football was put into perspective, it can feel a little trite to focus on the specific positions of those playing the game, but Alexis Mac Allister has had to get used to that this season. The Argentinian has, from pretty much the moment he arrived on Merseyside, been viewed as a very good addition for the Reds, albeit one who would be better off playing elsewhere on the pitch by conventional wisdom and by the eye test we all conducted on him while he was in Brighton and Hove Albion blue and white. As a player who is not built as a traditional holding midfielder, Mac Allister has been subject to a different eye test this season, and given that he is now wearing Liverpool red, that test is one that has been scrutinized and pored over much more than at any point of the 24-year-old's career so far. And sure enough, things have often looked a little off, as the little man wearing number 10 is surrounded and hounded in midfield by opponents often seeking to break on Liverpool, sometimes creating a feeling of exposing Mac Allister's deficiencies, of which a lack of pace is the clearest, in a bid to get at a side who increasingly appear to only have a handful of flaws. What would Jurgen Klopp do to correct this glaring problem, we all asked, with thoughts turning to the useful but clearly squad-bulking Wataru Endo, or perhaps playing Trent Alexander-Arnold in midfield from the off, or maybe even Ryan Gravenberch further back. Well, Klopp would double down and back his man, of course. It is obviously not really a discussion we have, otherwise we wouldn't play him there, obviously, Klopp said after Mac Allister turned in what was his best display in a Liverpool shirt in the 3-0 win over Nottingham Forest. I think today everybody could see the benefit of a player who comes rather from the offensive side of the game than from the other side. In a game where you have to create things, where you have to pass, where you have to switch sides, that's how it is then. And it is that offensive approach which has got Liverpool back on the track they had been so used to traversing before falling off the rails shattered last season, with so much of Klopp's rebuild centered on making them more athletic and creative in midfield and designed on helping them overwhelm sides who set out to do nothing but sit deep and frustrate. With players like Gravenberch and Dominic Szoboszlai in front of him, pressing monsters as Klopp has almost certainly called them in the past, then Mac Allister can play in the deeper role with a minimum of fuss, safe in the knowledge that so much of the defending is going on in front of him. Liverpool didn't have to defend much against Forest, but what they did have to do they did with ease, with the visitors' only breaks in the first half seeing them fall into Virgil van Dijk's offside trap. Forest were compact and that made for a narrow game. But when a player like Mac Allister is on the ball with so much of the game in front of him that creates opportunities, and Diogo Jota's opening goal came from the deepest of Liverpool's midfielders winning the ball and starting the attack. Mac Allister's role is likely to go on being influential then, although there is an issue he needs to address. The Argentinian picked up his fourth yellow card of the season in the second half on Sunday, meaning he's now one away from a one-game suspension. In truth, that suspension should now already be here, as he should have been booked against Bournemouth in August and not given a straight red card that was later rescinded. Liverpool play Luton away and Brentford at home before the trip to Manchester City in late November, and with that suspension hovering over Mac Allister, who has developed a tendency to pull players down when they run past him, perhaps aware of that lack of pace, Klopp will be wary of losing the man he is training to be his very modern number 6 for that trip to the Etihad. A real test of this revamped side. So does he hope he picks up a booking against Luton? Or maybe leave him out for Brentford? That would be an option, but he is far more likely to trust that a player playing in a new position can take on another new responsibility and keep on evolving. Because that is exactly what he has been doing so far. Liverpool's ruthless goal-scoring machine show again why they are title contenders. A clinical Liverpool side kept up the pressure on Premier League leaders Tottenham as they easily accounted for Nottingham Forest at Anfield on Sunday afternoon. Such is the strength of Liverpool's goal-scoring machine, that even Luis Diaz's unexpected loss cannot slow them down. This most routine of wins takes Liverpool's goals tally to 36 in 14 games and is the main reason why they will challenge for silverware this season. Diaz was absent from Anfield on compassionate grounds after the horror of his parents' kidnapping in his native Colombia on Saturday night. Liverpool paid tribute to Diaz, and Diogo Jota ran over to the touchline to hold up his number 7 shirt after scoring the Reds' opener. Diaz, who has scored 3 goals for the Reds, would have started on the left of their attack against Nottingham Forest, and his replacement, Darwin Núñez, made up for his loss. Núñez had a hand in Liverpool's first goal and bagged the second before Mohamed Salah scored his customary goal at Anfield as Klopp's side finished their week at home with 3 wins by aggregate score of 10-1. Salah almost has as many milestones as goals, and he is only the 3rd Liverpool player, and the first since John Aldridge in 1987, to score in his first 5 home league games. Forest showed very little, and this loss makes it 6 without a win for Steve Cooper's side. Cooper, who spent 5 years as a youth coach at Liverpool, knows results at Anfield will not decide Forest's fate, and they are 5 points above the drop zone. Liverpool 2.0, as Klopp calls his rebuilt Reds, are learning how to cope with the low block, and for the second Premier League match in a row at Anfield, their opponents went with 5 at the back after Everton lined up this way in the second half of the derby. It took almost half an hour before Liverpool opened up Forest's massed ranks when Murillo slipped to let Núñez in, and his shot was saved by Matt Turner. Núñez then headed over from 6 yards out from the resultant corner when the Uruguayan should have hit the target. It mattered not, and Liverpool prized Forest open with 2 goals inside 4 minutes to effectively win the match. Alexis McAllister won possession to send Salah away on the right as Liverpool broke 3-on-2 on Forest. Salah fed Núñez, and when his shot was parried by Turner, Jota was on hand to knock home his 6th goal of the season. Jota ran over to hold up Diaz's shirt to show everyone associated with the club is thinking of him following the ordeal of his parents' kidnapping. Forest were reeling, and Liverpool took full advantage to bag a second when Salah played in Dominic Szoboszlai on the right, and he centered for Núñez to stab home his 6th of the campaign from 3 yards out. Turner was busy, and he saved from Ryan Gravenberch and Szoboszlai in quick succession. Liverpool were content to switch to cruise control in the second half, briefly moving up through the gears to bag their 3rd on 77 minutes. Turner made an absolute hash of clearing a through ball from the excellent Szoboszlai after advancing well out of his area, and Salah was presented with the simplest of goals. Cody Gakpo reminded everyone of his goal threat, and the Dutchman hit a left-foot shot narrowly wide. Anthony Elanga should have scored a consolation effort for Forest, and he fired against the bar on the left before shooting over from another opportunity,